All right. If you have not listened to this particular VN, I want you to listen very carefully. Read in between the line as he elaborates. As he talks about a lot of things because he is speaking from his source of information. So pay attention as he talks about it. Subscribe to the update and most importantly, share this piece of information so that we can all educate ourselves towards disbursement. Have a great day and bye for now.
Everybody in Grand community should take it. You ought not to be distressed or be restless at this point or at this stage that we are now in Grand community as regarding the disbursement that we are expecting. It has been said, it has been overemphasized that from all quarters where we are getting information and all that we are dispensing concerning this grant disbursement, every angle, every nooks and crammed, as in the information we're getting from every places, everywhere in Grand community concerning disbursement has been fully confirmed that we should expect a disbursement next week, or let's just say this month. And if everything being equal as planned, next week should be our week of this blessing that we are talking about. We should get our disbursement next week. But for any reason, if it doesn't happen next week, let's just put our mind on this month. I'm talking the way I'm talking now because of disturbances from most of you or some of you here on this channel. People have been private chatting me. People have been bothering me, and as a matter of fact, let me use this period medium to quickly correct this notion again. I've talked about it before, but our people doesn't listen, and I don't know why they are stubborn. Permit me to use that word because I don't have any other adjective to use to qualify their character, the character of some people among us. I've said it over and over again, but they don't listen. They still have to come to my DM and be asking me when exactly is the money is going to be disbursed, how much is going to be. I said this thing in the previous my previous update, but the worst now is that they're even coming to me to be asking for slots that they want to buy, whether there is a slot for what do they call it now, pioneer slot or government NGO, and this other one, the CBN slot, all sort of slots that people are looking for. I don't know why Wahala go just dey on his own. Trouble will be on his own. It's people that will be going around because of restlessness, going around and curiosity, restlessness and curiosity that kills the cats will not make some people to rest. They still be going around poking, searching and looking for what they ought not to look for, what is not looking for them. What is the problem of some people? Scam will just be on its own. Some people will by themselves going to be looking for the scam. They want the scam. I don't know anything about government NGO or CBN slots or pioneer slots. I've been hearing that some NGOs are selling the slot for pioneer slot and government NGO or whatever, what have you. I have not come to this channel, or neither did I post it in any other platform or WhatsApp, my group on WhatsApp, that I have a slot that people should come and buy a slot for government NGO or for CBN slot or pioneer slot. I don't know of any. I've been hearing some people, some NGO talking about it. But what is my own business? I'm not interested in any of that. I don't even believe in them. I don't believe in them. The only grants that I invested in, that I believe in Nigeria, the only grant I believe in, that I invested in heavily is Theobarth. I've said it severally. I've said it over and over again. It is Theobarth that I believe in, and I invested hugely in. I invested in millions. I'm a subsidiary NGO under Ria Foundation, which is the mother NGO for me. I belong to Ria Foundation. My NGO is under Ria Foundation as a subsidiary NGO to mother NGO. Ria Foundation is a mother NGO because it's big. It's big, and that is the only grant that I ever subscribed for with my money, hard-earned money, and I believe in it. That is why I subscribe to it like that. And I have a lot of people that subscribe through my NGO under me as beneficiary, free, without collecting any money from any one of them. I even use some people's data. Some people that are registered in my NGO for free, I use their data to sponsor most of those clusters. But I am the one that use that pay. They didn't pay a dime. None of them pay a dime. So that is the only one that I believe in. Although I believe in Supreme and the other one, UAG, I believe in them. I believe the world disburse. I wish them well and I believe the world disburse. But my stand, if you ask me today, tomorrow, anytime, it is where, because the Bible says, where your treasure is, that is where your heart will be. The one I'm standing for, whole heart, any day, anytime. It is where I put my treasure, where I put my hard-earned money, which is Theobarth. That doesn't mean I'm an enemy to the rest of them or I don't believe in them. I believe in them because Nigerians subscribe to them with money. Okay, so and they will all disburse. Those are the ones that are viable. Those are the ones that are viable to me, that, like Supreme, like UAG or Sanctuary Multipurpose Foundation, like maybe St. Rita, and but you see this, I can vouch for all those ones, small. But this other one that is nearly coming up now, that they call CBN slot or government NGO or Pioneer, my hand no deal. Make nobody come to me, they ask me, say they won't buy slot, like most of you have been doing. I couldn't rest throughout yesterday. Disturbance is everywhere. CP, can I get a slot from the Pioneer slot from you, from your NGO? CP, can I get a CBN slot or government NGO slot from your NGO? Why? Why we trouble just there on its own? Now you go they look for this thing. Why? Please don't bring it to me. If you want to get your NGO, government NGO slot or Pioneer slot or CBN slot, go far. Don't come to CP. I'm not interested in that. I don't sell any slot. There is no slot. I've said it over and over again. There's no free slot, no vacancy, no slot, no cluster slot or beneficiary slot of any of these grants in my NGO again. Nothing. Don't be disturbing me for that, please. I don't know a better way to say it, or how I can say it better for people to understand. Please. Anyway, finally, as I round up this update, I just decided to come on here today. Today is a Friday now. Friday, 7th of March, 2025. It was just dawned on me that I need to update us on this. I need to let us know, that people should stop coming to me for NGO, government NGO slots or Pioneer slots. I don't sell slots. There's no vacancy in my own NGO. Okay. Then I also want to let you know that as regarding disbursement we are expecting, relax your nerves, relax your mind. Don't be worried about anything. Don't be disturbed. Okay. It's coming next week. And even for any reason, it does not come or it does not happen next week as we envisage or as we are expecting, still be happy. Just know that it's for good. All things happen together for good to them that loves God, and even to them that trust God, or that are the called according to his purpose. So that is the scripture for us. So relax. What is meant to be, what is meant for us, that God has destined for us, as a blessing for us, which will surely come to us. And one thing I know for sure is that as the Lord liveth, it will not exceed this very month of March. It will not exceed this month. This month of March is a month of marching forward, marching to progress and success concerning in grand disbursement, in grand community. And so shall it be. It is stamped and sealed already. Let's expect it next week. And by the special grace of God, it shall happen. All right. So let's be rest assured and rest our mind and our hope on God, trusting him to make it happen for us next week by the grace of God. Now, I had there's an information I stumbled on concerning the IMF and their purpose in Nigeria. Okay, it was stated clearly. They interviewed their staffs, the executives of IMF, on Arise TV. I saw it and I liked it. I said, okay, this one is good enough. At least it's in line with what we're expecting. After all, we have been hearing about IMF Nigeria, and the reason why they are here, and the meeting they have been having with government officials and CBN and all that. So when I stumbled on that video, I said, okay, this one is good enough for me to just share with my people, to rest assured that yes, truly, there's an organization that's called IMF here, and they are here for good, for the benefit of the masses, the suffering masses in this country, to alleviate poverty and to work with the government to ensure the grant is disbursed, especially to the grassroots people. Are you getting it? So just let's see a little bit of the interview that they had with Arise TV.
International Monetary Fund says Nigeria needs to ramp up domestic resource mobilization amid ongoing reforms. The first Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Gita Gopinath, spoke to Arise business correspondent Rotus Udiri in Lagos about a range of issues from tariffs to welfare transfers and inspiring more girls to study economics. Here is the report.
Indeed. Here you are in Nigeria. There's been a lot going on here. Reforms, had some domestic shocks, but it looks like things seem to be stabilizing. What's been your takeaway speaking with the government, private sector folks with what's going on in Nigeria?
Firstly, there is a strong recognition that this government has undertaken bold reforms that were much needed in terms of FX deregulation, fuel subsidy reforms. Those were important and had to get done. And, these are difficult decisions to make. So recognition of that has brought stability to macro indicators like the strength of the Naira. Now, that said, this is also an important time for the government to accelerate social transfers to Nigerians. And the reason I say that is because the big spike in inflation, the food insecurity that has come along with it, the rise in poverty that has been quite significant, it's very important to address that. And the government can do that by providing social transfers. It can use the savings that it's got from the fuel subsidies agenda, which, again, I saw
Naira, it actually appreciated, pretty well against the US dollar. The gap between the official rate and the parallel market rate, things like 1,499 versus 1,510. So it's really narrowed. Is that top of line currency stability for government? Or there's a whole lot of other things that you got to look at?
There are many things for the government to look at. Currency, I wouldn't say use the word stability, but confidence in the currency is very important. Now, currency tends to be stable when it is backed by sound fundamentals, which is if monetary policy is doing the right thing in trying to bring inflation down. If fiscal policy is also doing the right thing in terms of, containing the size of the deficit. I think one of the big priorities for the government in Nigeria is to do more domestic resource mobilization. Government revenues as a share of GDP about 10%. It's very low compared to its peers. So doing more on that front would also give confidence to markets. All of that is critical. Moving on the path of growth in terms of improving security, power, ease of doing business. All of this is going to be super helpful.
I wanted to ask, how important is it to communicate patience when it comes to reforms? I just think, for example, is Iran. Their finance minister was just removed out of office after 6 months, and the president said you can't expect economic reforms to take place in just 6 months. So just generally, how important is it to be able to communicate to the public that reforms take time?
It's very important to communicate to the public, not just that reforms take time, but also to communicate what exactly is it that you're doing, how is it going to help them, and not help just some pockets of the society, but help everybody. Because you have to bring society along, otherwise there will not be the patience to do all the difficult reforms. So communicating, bringing them also into the conversation in terms of the actual decision making and thinking through strategies, that's going to be critical. And we've seen that. We work with 191 countries, and the countries who are successful in doing reform are the ones that bring society along.
My final question for you. Now, it just so happens that it's International Women's Day later this week, but even if it wasn't, from yourself to Kristalina Georgieva, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Christine Lagarde, Ursula von der Leyen, lots of prominent women in economics and business, how do we inspire our young girls to, follow in your footsteps?
Yeah. Well, firstly, thank you for that. I think girls are not very different from boys in the fact that ultimately you're going to have girls going into economics if they see good prospects for jobs and careers from it. And I think the message I want to give to girls is that economics is the kind of subject where you can see yourself in many different professions. You could be in consulting, you could be in finance, you could be working for the government, you could be doing a lot of good for society, right? And so there's a lot of opportunity, and we need more women in this profession. Not just because, there's diversity of views and that's wonderful, but sometimes women are just better at the job. So I think it's important to have women doing this, and it's important to make sure that universities provide the right kind of an environment so women feel like they're benefiting from the classes, that they can speak up, that there's a good peer network. All of this is helpful. But ultimately, women are also going to be guided by the cost-benefit analysis of working in the economics profession. And I just want to say that this is actually a very good benefit.
All right. Geeta Gopinath, First Deputy Managing Director at the International Monetary Fund. Thank you so much for speaking to Arise News.
Well, Dr. Gopinath there, talking about economics, which is our main subject, was studied, and also, in our position as Deputy MD of IMF, Chief Economist of IMF, and interesting comments about growth within the Nigerian economy, which I think is something that should be of interest to us, and also about trade wars, which is a very potent subject now that Donald Trump, President Trump of the United States,